Braves Chop Live, and this is going to be our first podcast after the game. In essence, a summary of what happened in today's game. Of course, we know Hurston Waldrop, he was the starter today, and he got sent down. We heard from Mark Bowman to Gwinnett, and it's just his second start he had. It seemed like he had some good points as he was going along. Had the fastball, has a lot of pitches, but maybe just a little bit of command. Two big blows were his last game where he threw, I believe it was a fastball inside and hit a 3-run homer. And then this game here, he gave up a first pitch grand slam inside again to a lefty. And it was his first home run he hit that year. I mean, this year, the lefty against him. So, yeah, Hurston Waldrop would be sent down. The Braves said via Mark Bowman that they're going to be sending a reliever coming up tomorrow. So we'll probably hear the official announcement tomorrow. At least the offense got started. And we see Austin Riley. It appears that he's back. And we heard the tragic news of his former Braves hitting coach, former Braves hitting instructor who got killed in a car crash last night. And he was good friends with Austin Riley and one of his partners for many years as far as working with him on his hitting. And so that's some sad news. But the Braves dropped this game 8-6 to Tampa. It was looking good. You know, they started out, Tampa had a bunch of base runners on in the first. Hurston kind of got out of that, just giving up the one run. And then Jared Kelenic leads off at the bottom of the first inning, goes deep to the chop house. And then we see then we see the Braves get a 2-run homer following that. So things are looking good for the Braves. The Phillies lost today, and so we look forward to the Braves getting back on a roll. Have the Detroit Tigers. They're coming into the Braves Stadium coming tomorrow. They'll be at Truist, and look forward to seeing that series. And so when you think about what's the Braves forecast as far as what they have going on, we know that the Braves are trying to do a 6-man rotation. And they were doing that because to give Ronaldo Lopez a little bit extra time in between games, a little bit more rest. I believe this is the most amount of innings he's ever pitched in his career, Ronaldo Lopez, that is. So they're going to give him an extra day of rest, and they say that's pretty helpful. Chris Sale, he's doing really well, and they also want to give him an extra day's rest. So that's why the Braves are going to the 6-man rotation. We know Spencer, he did pretty well in his last outing. Again, Hurston Waldrop showed some good signs, but really had 2 big pitches that let it get to him. He got hit deep from. And so we think about what do we got coming up next? The series coming up, the Braves forecast. We know that the Jared Kelenic, he's doing good leading off. And we see Matt Olson. He's been hitting the ball really, really well recently. And so things are looking good for the Braves to get back on track. They're not really far back from where they were last year. 2 years ago, when they won the World Series, they went on something like a 14-game winning streak. And those are pretty much kind of ridiculous. They're very, very rare those happen. And then last year, the Braves are kind of a little bit below what they are this year. The main concern for us Braves fans is we weren't seeing any hitting. So even though with Michael Harris going down, we see Jared Kelenic is making good contact. We see him coming up and leading off the leadoff home run. He seemed like he's fitting well in that spot. I kind of wondered if they would put Jared Kelenic in that leadoff spot and put Michael Harris a little bit down in the order before this happened. But Ozzie Albies, he's a free swinger, and so he swings a lot early in the pitch. So you want somebody who has a little bit more patience as far as leading off a game. And so then you got Marcell Ozuna, of course, he's on fire. But the Braves said they're going to bring up a reliever, so we're not sure if they're going to continue on with a 6-man rotation. A good chance Holmes, he made his major league debut after 10 years. They may go with him, next chance, because he's been in the minors for 10 years, and it was his first time to come up. It's pretty amazing. We posted the video there of his family talking about it being his first time coming up pitching in the majors. And when you think about that, 10 years being in the minors, and a lot of those contracts are pretty low. They don't have like big paying jobs. A lot of those guys got to work on the side, have to depend on family to help them out. Um, so some of those contracts are not very not very good as far as spending your whole career, in the minor league. So sure, it was pretty exciting when he got the call. They mentioned Valley Sports. They mentioned that they kind of gathered together and they said it needed. Grant Holmes was supposed to start the game today in Gwinnett, and they ended up telling him yesterday that he wouldn't be starting there, but he'll be going up to Atlanta, and so that had to be an exciting time for him. And so who knows? We'll see. We'll keep you updated. We appreciate you joining us on this live stream. It's our first time doing actual live stream. We want to kind of give you a summary of each game as we go through this season. And so very excited. If you have any questions, you can always drop us a question. No reference that comes to our page, Atlanta Braves Chop Live, or YouTube, and where we plan on going. We do have Instagram, we're on Twitter, and so try to be diverse as far as getting you the best information. The whole purpose why we came up with Atlanta Braves Live was when the Braves were going on their run to win the World Series, I was constantly looking for content. Maybe you have the major reporters who report for the Atlanta Braves. Justin Tuscany, he's new. He's been there for a few years now. You have David O'Brien. He's been 20-something years with the Braves. Mark Bowman as well with Major League Baseball. So these guys, they'll post on Twitter, but not everybody goes to Twitter to get their content. Or they may post at 10 o'clock at night, and the other guy posts 2 hours later. And then you go on Instagram. The Braves post stuff on Instagram, on Twitter, and then maybe a video is released on Valley Sports, but it's not released on Valley Sports South. So the whole reason why I came up with the page, and me and Ray worked together through these years, is to try to put as much Braves content at one location. We tried to have control of what's posted on there, so that we're the only ones that post on there. So that way there's not a lot of silly stuff or spam or what have you. And so that's in essence why we came up with the page, to have one location where we could post as much Braves content for the Braves fans. We're thankful for all those who follow our page. We have on Facebook, we have over 175,000. We have a lot of the family members who follow our page, the players. So that's why we're always trying to tell people to try to stay positive. Understand if somebody blows a game, that's free to talk about, but we don't want to be demeaning when it comes to the people, their character, whatever the case is. We want to keep it a positive page. Of course, you're going to talk negative if somebody blows the game, like today. That was a sad game, but it's exciting. Down 6-2. The game was going back and forth. So they scored one run, but you felt pretty good. After Hurston got out of that inning. And then you have Jared Kelnick. He comes and hits the home run, and then you have Travis. He hits the home run. Braves take the lead, 2-1, and then Hurston comes in the fourth inning, I believe it was, and that was the same inning that he got pulled from before. Gave up the grand slam to Diaz, I think it was, and it was his first home run of the year. Seemed like it was an off-speed pitch coming inside. The home run he gave up before was a fastball last game. Gave this is the second home run of the game, but the game where he gave up the 7 runs, 4 were on him, and then the bases loaded, clearing double by Bummer when he came in to relieve. Both of those pitches were inside. So he just stated, Mark Bowman mentioned that they're going to be sending him down to the minor leagues. I'm sure he's going to get seasoned down there with the coaches on pitches to be more effective toward lefties, to get a little bit more consistency. So it's only his second game in the majors, and it's a big jump between AAA. You see where people are dominate, and AAA may have a little bit of a struggle when they come up. And so we'll keep you updated as soon as we hear the information. on who is going to replace Hurston. They said they're going to release that information in the morning. Generally, the Braves do that between 10 and 11 o'clock in the morning on their Twitter. That's when they post it, and we'll be sharing that with you. So again, the Braves dropped this game 8-6 as it went back and forth after the Braves were down 1-0, tied at 1-1. Braves go up 2-1. Then they tie it 2-2 after a homer, and then they hit a grand slam Tampa. And then you're thinking like, well, it's down by 4 runs. It's kind of tough. What are we going to do? You still feel like you have a little fight in you. Braves come back after hitting a string of base hits back and forth. And then Austin Riley goes deep and ties the game at 6. And then Raciel Iglesias gives up the homer, giving up the 2 runs. And the Braves didn't do anything in the 9th inning and dropped that 8-6. Well, overall, the Braves had a 3-game winning streak, and that came to an end today. They won 2 out of 3 from Tampa. So the way the Braves have been playing, we'll take that, and we look forward to Detroit coming in and the Braves playing them. Again, I want to thank you for joining us. It's a privilege to have you, and I look forward to sharing some more commentary with you. Feel free to leave comments. This is where we want to have opportunity where we have an open forum for you to discuss with us. But I look forward for you to join us, and thanks for joining us.